Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to Valorant News. Loads going on in the rostermania side of things. Some potential changes coming to Valorant as well. But also, TSM, FaZe, 100 Thieves, big question marks right now. We're going to dive into it today. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, hitting the like button is the best thing you can do to help this channel reach more people. Please consider subscribing as well if you haven't already. We've been killing it the last few days. Appreciate every single one of you. Firstly, there's some Valorant leaks. So the rumoured Omen buffs were true at one point, but were scrapped. We heard this maybe a few weeks ago. We talked about it here on the channel that Omen was apparently going to get some buffs. Now, well, they've effectively been scrapped. We did rumour that because Champs is just around the corner, they're probably going to make some major changes in January, but still, maybe they didn't really feel like, okay, it's time to buff Omen massively and make him relevant in the scene just before the World Championship. Probably not a good idea, so maybe they're leaving it for later, but Omen buffs apparently maybe coming. Like, they were planned, but then scrapped, so what does that mean? Who really knows? This I thought was also kind of interesting that, well, double pump. If you guys played any Fortnite, you guys might remember the whole double pump thing. You pick up two shotguns and then you can, like, you bang them over your shoulder. Now, you can effectively do this right now with the Sheriff and, like, the Deagle that the Chamber has if you do it properly. So if you shoot the Deagle and then immediately change, like with Q or whatever, and then you can actually bring the Headhunter out very quickly indeed. So you can effectively just double bang it. Now, whether this is actually viable, I don't really know, but it looks kind of cool. So I guess I'll just leave that there for now. Let's talk about rostermania. Critical over at BBG, officially a free agent exploring all options, apparently might be headed to the Kansas City Pioneers, but we'll see about that. BBG, of course, bit up and down lately, but yeah, Critical definitely a player that people are keeping their eyes on. Seems to be where he might end up, poised and right, saying, you know, if someone signed this man right now. So potentially to the Pioneers, they've been looking pretty decent as of late. We shall see how that one goes. This also wanted to mention, because a lot of the teams right now, they're out there in Europe, they're getting ready to go. This bootcamp is ongoing. For example, like Ye, of course, of Envy, playing with some of the Fury guys right here, so they're having a good time in this bootcamp, getting some good practice in ahead of Champions in less than a couple of weeks at this point. Exciting stuff. I'm not sure when Sentinels get out there, but they're on their way at the very least. I'm pretty sure they might be out there by now, actually, already. Just well, touchdown yesterday or something along those lines. Speaking of getting out there, George Geddes is out to Texas for whatever reason, and he's talking about some, well, situations going down right now, and some people are asking him some questions about, well, exactly what's going on in the Valorant scene. Now, TSM info is coming soon, he says. No info on Sinatraa, even though we might talk about something about Sinatraa in tomorrow's video, but TSM info coming soon actually was somewhat sooner from other sources than some people were expecting. This came out that some people were noticing that I thought was, it's just great detective work, really, from the entirety of the scene. So you can see right here, TSM, Elgato, which I believe is Leviathan, on the same team as FaZe Corey and Immortals Rossy. Very interesting stuff. Teaming up against, well, playing up against Xen in some scrims. So people were noticing this one, and yeah, what does this mean? But the Rossy, formerly of Immortals, now technically a free agent, could be the 5th player on TSM, and that could be the team they're going with going forwards. That's a bit of a big question mark. We saw this a few days ago from Leviathan, for example. I haven't felt this confident in a roster ever. Subrosa said the same thing. So Subrosa, Wardell, Leviathan, Corey, and Rossy is the rumoured team of 5 over there right now. Now, well, this goes on to continue with, as VLR.GG say, sources TSM to trial Rossy and Corey. This seems to be the roster they're currently trialling, and we know from what some of the TSM guys are saying, they're really confident in this team. They probably wanted to go forwards, and that seems more than likely at this point. This is what is going to happen. This is what they say. They've inked trial deals with Rossy and Corey, and yeah, they talk about the situation as it stands right now. TSM, therefore, for the time being, will be Subrosa, Wardell, Leviathan, Corey, and Rossy, I guess, as their IGL are bringing him in from Immortals. So it is a very interesting situation. Rossy has been a free agent for roughly a month after being released from Immortals in mid-October. At the interim, he's been competing in the, NSG Winter Championships and stuff like this that we'll look at here in just a second. But yeah, definitely interesting to see how this goes. Corey is a no-brainer, but kind of the IGL of the team was a bit of a question mark. Rossy seems like he might be the one to fill that gap, and pretty impressive if the team actually is being, well, is as successful seemingly as they are right now. I mean, even in that scrim zone, right, they're up 9-2. Of course, doesn't mean much, it's a scrim, but I thought I'd mention it anyway. This also, we can look at some of his results. So playing with Immortals here with decent success, but nothing spectacular during the October time and much earlier than that as well. Pretty sure he joined Immortals in April or something, and since then he's been, playing the NSG tourney, he's playing in the Valorant Showdown with YFP, but apparently he's going somewhere else relatively soon, and that may well be all the way to the TSM side of things. He actually tweets this out, which I thought was kind of strange. Usually if this was happening, maybe you wouldn't tweet about it, but it's still each to their own. Here, well, he quote tweets this, right, and people are suggesting, okay, could it be Rossy? Could it not be Rossy? People were like kind of hinting about that it could be Rossy, or at least like indicating that they thought it might be a few days ago. So I think, well, whoever kind of predicted that one, fair play to you guys. Seems like that may be what's going down on the TSM side. But of course, there's other organizations also making changes right now. Of course, a lot of questions remain with FaZe, given the fact that Corey's gone from that team. They've pretty much released everyone. Who are they bringing in? Like, that's still very much up in the air. But let's talk about 100 Thieves, because, well, boy, a big question mark. A couple of you guys were noting in the comment section a couple of days ago that, you hope the boy stays on within the organization in some capacity. He was not really ever meant to be like a permanent replacement to this team, as George Gedda says, like a temporary move. But, back to an analyst, hopefully for boy. Like, I think he's a really intelligent player, but, and, well, analyst for the team and has done great things for them and stepped in when he was needed at the LCQ. Obviously not to the success they wanted. I don't really think you could blame boy for that one, though, given the situation that went down. Of course, well, the controversial removal of Steel just before that tournament. But, of course, what it does mean is that they're considering what exactly is going on with our roster right now. What do we do with our team? We've got Asuna, we've got Ethan, we've got Nitro, but, we've got Hiko, of course, but is Nitro going to be there anymore? Like, is he going to go back to Counter-Strike? That seems unlikely to me. Like, it just seems like that'll be too much chaos for him maybe to usher into his life when he's got a solid situation right now playing Valorant with 100 Thieves and obviously a great organization there. But this is what George Gedda says. LG looking for one, it seems, and 100 Thieves looking for one, I believe, at the moment as well. Things can change very quickly, apparently. So that kind of meaning that, okay, Nitro is still going to be there probably, and they're looking for some sort of replacement to boy. Now, who is that replacement? A lot of people suggested that it might be their new substitute that they brought in. They brought in the substitute 7, right? One of the hottest up-and-coming prospects in the scene after they removed Steel and brought boy into their roster. But apparently, it's actually not going to be 7 stepping in. As Revy says, if Nitro does end up leaving for CSGO, does that mean 7 will be subbed in, or will they look for another 5th? Most likely another 5th in this scenario, but even in the current scenario, where if Nitro is staying right, and he does still play Valorant, they still want a 5th for boy instead, then they're probably not going to get 7, just because the general consensus apparently is that 7 isn't ready to go yet. So potentially a great sub in the future, but seemingly not the option they want to explore right now, which I thought was kind of interesting. But that might be what 100 Thieves are up to. I guess we will have to stay tuned and we will see. Speaking of 100 Thieves, Dicey, of course, who was on their team for quite some time, been inactive since like February on that roster now, and news on this apparently coming soon. We shall see. A lot of people asking like, where's Dicey going? These types of questions, but apparently we'll know relatively soon. Of course, I'll do my best to keep you guys up to date. This I thought was also kind of interesting with well, CS players potentially going the other way. We've seen for quite some time now, especially in the North American scene, that well, the CS scene it wasn't doing particularly well, especially during the online era. A lot of players moving to Valorant, and understandably so. But now we see us kind of having a bit of a resurgence since the major. Some players are actually thinking about going back the other way. Now, it could be quite a healthy ecosystem, frankly, if players are able to swap between the two, whatever makes most sense for them, whatever they're better at. But apparently, some players might actually consider returning to Counter-Strike and leaving the Valorant scene. Of course, seemingly Nitro is at least considering that as an option, and it's something which the players can certainly achieve, because a lot of them came over from CS in the first place. Whether this happens in other regions, because maybe it happens in North America if there's a bit of a resurgence of Counter-Strike in NA, but what about in other regions like Europe, right? Is it possible that some of the Valorant guys, they go back to CS? Seems relatively unlikely, but you can never rule this type of stuff out with the games on the table as they are. And some of these players, of course, are being very talented indeed, and often coming from CS originally, the likes of Wardell, as you can see right here. I'll finish out the video with this really nice clutch, to be honest, 1 versus 4, made to look very easy indeed. Very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hitting the like button tells the YouTube gods this is a good video. I'd also like you should see it as well, and I've grown the competitive Valorant community. Thank you for watching as always, take care, and I will see you next time.
This guy's at 80 on it. Could have out.
Planted. Blocking sight. Stay down. One enemy remaining.
Oh my god.